So first of all, I just wanted to welcome everyone to Malvern Books for our November novel night. I'm Becky Garcia, I'm the manager at the store, and we're just so happy that you could join us for kind of a mystery-themed night, so we're thrilled that you're here. In honor of novel night, all our prose, all our fiction is 20% off during the duration of the evening, so if there's anything that you like, of course we hope that you will enjoy some of the books by the featured authors, but we have a lot of other fiction too. If there's something else you'd like, it's all 20% off. And we would encourage you to have refreshments because we have those out and we'd love for you to eat. So we'd like you to do that too. So to start off the evening, the first thing we're going to do, we always do every novel night, is we have a little book talk that just is a little bit of a highlight of one of the books that we carry here in the store. And one of the Malvern staff always take turns doing this, and this time it's my turn, so I'm up. So I'm going to be talking about a book called The Expendable Man by Dorothy B. Hughes. And this is really, it's an amazing book. This book was published in 1963. It's part of the New York Review of Books series. So they tend to do a lot of reprints of classic works that have kind of fallen out of the forefront. People kind of have forgotten a little bit about them for really no good reason. Usually they're incredible books, and that's what they did. They highlighted this book as well. So it's a great noir mystery, and it's really a thrilling ride that had me biting my nails and dreading the next assault to this innocent man that's in here. The main character, Dr. Hugh Densmore, drives to a family wedding. On the way, he spots a hitchhiker, a young woman, and against his better judgment, he picks her up. He sees in her his sisters and worries for her safety. And it is this compassion that embroils him in a tangle of events that knots prejudice of class, race, with the gritty reality of life before Roe versus Wade. Here's a quote from that first section. "Most assuredly, he would not pick up anyone in this strange, deserted land. But he reduced speed when he approached the shadow, the automatic anxiety reaction that a person might step in front of the oncoming car. He passed the hitchhiker before he was actually aware of the shape and the form. Only after he had passed had he realized that this was a young girl. From the glimpse, a teenage girl. Even as he slowed his car, he was against doing it. But her possible peril, if left there alone, forced his hand. He simply could not in good conscience go on, leaving her abandoned with twilight fallen and night quick to come. He had sisters as young as this." We know there is something not quite right about the driver's concerns, his overly careful ways, the girl's hesitation when he stops. She's a hitchhiker, after all, and he was driving a nice car and sounded like a responsible person. Why does she pause so long before deciding to get in? His words are sharp and reflect the anxiety he feels. He questions the girl and tries to think of a way to help her that least involves himself. As the story unfolds, we learn more about our hero. We learn his fears and his faults. He's not a brave champion of a protagonist, a fighter, or someone who welcomes a challenge. Instead, he is a sincere and compassionate man who tries to help but knows the reality of life and refuses to venture beyond his own code of morality. He is an up-and-coming doctor. He has worked hard to get where he is, and all he wants is to keep his head down, his nose clean, and work hard to achieve a quiet life of medical research. But even though he makes a series of careful decisions each step along the way, he is drawn into a situation that quickly degenerates into just the kind of mess he was trying so hard to avoid. And as things spiral out of control, he is desperate not to plunge his family into the depths with him and tries to keep them in the dark. You can sense that he just can't believe this is happening to him. He's an innocent man. Isn't that enough? He's from a good family, an accomplished family, an educated family who doesn't get involved in things like this. They can't possibly lump him in with others just because he looks like that. Certainly they will see that. Luckily, he is pushed to ask for help from a smart, savvy woman that he has met at the family wedding, and she continues to assist despite his protests. Her actions lead him to see that he has to push himself past his level of comfort and take control to clear himself. With this fast-paced mystery, you not only get a gripping story to follow, you get a view into a life and time not too far away. and you're immersed in the attitude and the setting of that time. You feel the heat of the relentless sun and the weight of the rising temperatures in Arizona as our protagonist strives to clear his name despite the less than helpful police department. And you feel his legitimate fear from the police, from the real killer, and from public opinion. Here's a short passage from an interview with the police. "You saw her later." Benner's drawl was almost pornographic. Hugh clipped the monosyllable. "Yes, once." This was the hard part. This was the part they must believe or his position was hopeless. If they rejected its truth, they would look no further. Hughes' cigarette had burned to a tip as he talked. He took his time pressing it out in the ashtray, arranging words and scene in his mind. The forthcoming passage must be given in exactly the right way. He mustn't let a hint of fear or despair or reaction to their cynical disbelief filter through. The brief pause was too long. Dorothy B. Hughes studied journalism and practiced the craft early on before she went to graduate studies and published her first book in 1931. It was actually a book of poetry called Dark Certainty, and it won the Yale Series of Younger Poets competition. She moved on to write 14 novels, including one which became a Humphrey Bogart movie, In a Lonely Place, and a lot of short stories. Her sparse writing style with beautifully evocative phrases shows off her skill. She conveys in her few words what takes others paragraphs. She examined issues of race and society, and then after writing The Expendable Man, she retired from writing novels and focused solely on her work as a reviewer and a critic. She enjoyed success during her lifetime and was recognized by the Mystery Writers of America as Grand Master in 1978. But as time has passed, her name has not been celebrated as so many others. She died in 1993. I plan to read a lot more by Dorothy Hughes, and I'd encourage you to do the same. And if you like a smart mystery and noir, I don't think you can go wrong with The Expendable Man. So now, I'm turning on, got a different hat on, and